Hello, my name is Abel Romo and I will be talking about my family history and how I got to El Paso, Texas. My story begins in the city of Chihuahua, Mexico, where my great-grandpa Angel Salido was born in 1892 and my great-grandma Luz Valenzuela was born in 1901. They then moved on to have a baby girl in 1933 by the name of Luz Salido, who later became my grandma. At 18 years of age, my grandma married my grandpa, who was then 23 years old. My grandparents would then spend the next 6 years of their lives in Chihuahua, Mexico, where they would bear their first 4 children. Out of 8 total siblings, my Aunt Rose would be the first to be born in 1952, making her the eldest. The second child my grandparents would have, they would name Rebecca, who was born in 1954. My Aunt Angelica was born in 1955 and was the third of 8 siblings. The last one to be born in Chihuahua before moving was my Uncle Jesus, who was born in 1956, which makes him the eldest of the men. In 1957, the Mexican Army moved my grandpa to Mexico City, where my Uncle Enrique was born in 1959. In 1961, the military moved my family back to Chihuahua, where my Uncle Hector was born, later named my godfather. By this point in their lives, my grandparents wanted to move to Ciudad Juarez for economic reasons. Upon the military's approval, they moved to Juarez in 1965. There, my mother Luz Aparicio was born in 1966. That same year, my dad was born in Los Angeles, California by the name of Abel Romo. In 1967, my grandpa was promoted to be lieutenant of the Mexican Army. Along with my grandpa's military promotion also came relocation. The military relocated him to Culiacan, Sinaloa, where they would live for about 9 to 10 months. My family would then be relocated again, this time to Mazatlan, a nearby city to Culiacan in the same state of Sinaloa. They only lived in Mazatlan for about 3 months, then proceeded to move back to Juarez in 1969. 1969 was also the year my Uncle Richard was born. He was the youngest of all 8 siblings and died in 2008 from leukemia. By 69, the family was complete. It was a big family being held down mainly by my grandma while my grandpa was away at work. In 1970, the family moved once again, this time to Veracruz, where my grandpa got promoted to be first captain of the Mexican Army in 1971. In 1972, for the 8th time in 15 years, my family once again migrated, this time to the city of Acapulco in the state of Guerrero, Mexico. Here, my Aunt Rebecca would get married to Fernando Corsas, and my grandpa would be promoted to be a major for the Mexican Army. My family would move back to Juarez in 1978 in search of a more permanent home after my grandpa retired from the Mexican military. During this time, Juarez was a good place to look for a home because of the economic boom caused by the maquiladoras, or assembly plantations. My family would proceed to live the next 10 years in Juarez, where my grandpa would earn full pay as a retired veteran, and my grandparents would buy a house they still own today. In 1988, my grandparents, my Aunt Angelica, and my mom would migrate to El Paso, Texas, United States of America. This was possible through the immigration reform bill signed by President Ronald Reagan in 1986. In 1990, my mother would marry a man by the name of Abel Palacios. They proceeded to have a daughter in 1991 by the name of Christian Aparicio, which is my older sister. So things quite didn't work out between my sister's dad and my mom, which led to them to get divorced in 1993. My mom Luz Aparicio and my dad Abel Romo met in 1994 and moved in together by 1995. That same year, my parents purchased their first home and were expecting their first child together. I was born in 1996 in El Paso, Texas, and I have lived here since. Today I recognize El Paso to be the place I was born, the place I was raised, and the place I seek to obtain a higher education. That concludes my video on how my family migrated to El Paso, Texas. Thank you for your time and attention, and go Miners!
La la